So one juror arrived wearing a T-shirt bearing a slogan that clearly showed he was not going to give us a chance. Large letters on the front of the shirt proclaimed, "My naivety is the same as the defendant's stupidity." That somehow didn't appear to be in keeping with the impartiality he was being asked to observe until the moments of deliberation began. So the judge asked the juror to provide an explanation, and the juror said, "I was only joking," and was allowed to continue as a juror. I mean, just talk me through that.
I mean, what happened, the court hearing was 7 weeks. And I'll give you just a quick outline. Because it was all about accountability, accounts, and mainly it was all how this business runs, how you do your accounts and everything else. We had in-house accountants and all that. And some of the jurors, I think it was only about 3 jurors we found out later that they had their own business. The rest, they've never had their own business. They didn't know how to calculate PAYE. They didn't know how to calculate VAT. So you've got 12 of them sitting there. It's only 3 of them they understand. 9 of them doesn't understand anything about calculation of the tax affairs. And then this chap turns up, I believe he was a teacher, and he's wearing this T-shirt, and he's obviously made his mind up. And this is just the day that I was going to give evidence. This is like week 2 or 3. And obviously, our barristers stood up and the rest of the barristers in the court, and they objected. But it seems that the judge already made his opinion. I mean, that was the thing, it came to us. So no matter what I said, especially this juror, it seemed that he's controlling all the others. I don't know if it was true or not, but they always came in together. They were all chatting in the morning when we saw them coming in through the security. But, to be honest, that juror should have been discharged, but it wasn't. So the system altogether, in my opinion, I'm not the right one to say it, but I think it's broken. And
Yes.
Even the judge that has got all that experience and everything else, he should have asked him to resign, and he should have got another jury.
Well, I mean, from where I sit, don't think I would have allowed the juror in the court wearing that T-shirt. It's an extraordinary thing. I mean, we've ended up talking about juries. I had a jury experience when I was in my 20s, and it was probably one of the worst experiences of my life, because I was really, in my heart, and from everything I heard, I was really sure that this guy was not guilty. It was deep in my gut that this was not a real crime. He was already in prison. He was already in prison for something else, and this was just an additional crime. But I was in my 20s, so I was quite young, and I was shot down. As you say, there was literally a couple of men who were controlling all of us. And when I said, look, I really want to talk about this, I really want to try, and I got shouted at by a woman who said, you're holding me up. I've got to go and pick my kids up from school. And in the end, when there's one of you or 2 of you that are sort of saying, can we not just take this apart, and a group of people just yelling at you, you cave. And I ended up caving.